Hey everybody, it's Roy from SecuRam Systems and Technical Support. Wanted to go over a commonly asked question I get for our SafeLogic series, and that is no response. So they have the unit and it just suddenly stops working. And by that I mean none of the buttons make any noise, and the light doesn't light up at all when you push the buttons. Now the first thing I always ask the customer is to change the battery. Once we've changed it with a known good battery, and it's still not communicating, the next thing to look into would be the 4-pin cable. This is our communication and the lifeline to our system. If the communication cable is not seated down all the way, like this, which can happen quite often, especially if the customer just recently changed the battery. A lot of the times they don't know it, but when they pull it off to the safe to change the battery, they don't realize there's a cable in there that they're tugging on, and it can actually pull the cable off the EntryPad. So have them reseat it, even if it visually looks okay. Still have them reseat the cable, firmly pressing it down, and you'll notice there's a little retainer clip here that they have to actually move the cable out of in order to remove it. Now the style of clip that we use in our EntryPad is very similar to a old telephone cable. So you just want to have them push down on this tab here, and that will release it from being locked inside of that in the socket, and then you can have them pull it out, and of course insert the retainer clip back in. So the next thing, if they still say, it still doesn't work, pressing buttons and it still isn't communicating, there is one other option, one other thing that it could cause that. This is only if it's a brand new unit out of the box, and you unwrap it and you're just putting it together, make sure it works before you put it on the safe. That if the swing bolt lock is programmed into a digital mode, which is for our Pro Logic and our Scan Logic only, and you try to pair it with a basic in digital mode, it won't work because the EntryPad here is analog mode only, and this lock is set for digital mode currently. So then it won't communicate and exhibit no response issues. So this is only that the lock being in digital mode is really only if you just opened it and it's for some reason is not making any noise once you plug it in. You at that point would want to do a reset method, and that will allow you to put the same lock that didn't work before, it will put it into analog mode, and then it'll work just fine for you, like so. And as you can see, the lock's in analog mode. Cable is communicating, battery's good. We have a good lock set here. The only other thing is if those troubleshooting tips didn't assist you, the next step would be replacing the EntryPad. And the EntryPad is really all you need to replace for our system. It's very uncommon that you would run into any sort of other issues with it. It's a very rare thing to see any sort of lock issues or anything like that. It's almost always exclusively, if anything, going to be related, especially if it's no response, it's relating to the power of the communication. So those are always going to be your 2 points that you want to look into first. And I'm sure you guys will be able to get right through the troubleshooting and get on your way. So until next time.